Some people come into your life with a smile, they laugh at your jokes, cheer for your successes, and seem like your biggest supporters. But behind that smile is a mask, a carefully crafted facade designed to keep you in the dark. The truth is, not everyone who claims to be in your corner is really there for you. Some of these people are not supporting your growth. They're watching, studying your every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and when that moment comes, they'll use your trust and your vulnerabilities against you. This is the reality you must face. Not everyone who shows up in your life as a friend is a friend. Trust is earned, not given freely, and sometimes the most dangerous people are those who look the most harmless. Wake up to this truth. Not all smiles are meant to reassure you. Some are meant to deceive. Let me help you. On the surface, this phrase seems like a gesture of kindness, but in many cases, it's a subtle, calculated move. When someone offers help, ask yourself, are they doing it because they genuinely care about your success, or is there an agenda behind it? The most insidious form of betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. It often comes from those who once called themselves friends. A helping hand can sometimes be a way to control you, to pull you in and make you dependent, all while setting you up for failure. It's a dangerous illusion. You must be vigilant. It's not always about what's being offered to you, it's about what's being asked in return. Don't fall into the trap of believing that everyone who helps you has your best interests at heart. Some are just positioning themselves for their own gain. Have you ever felt that something was just off, but you couldn't quite figure out why? That feeling isn't paranoia, it's awareness. Life isn't as straightforward as it seems. Every day, you're part of a game, whether you realize it or not. There are unspoken rules, hidden agendas, and strategies in motion that you aren't even aware of. And if you don't learn to read the signs, you'll find yourself being used as a pawn in someone else's game. The truth is, everyone around you is playing a role, but are you aware of your own? Are you even aware of the game? Not understanding these dynamics means you're letting others call the shots. But once you become aware of the game, you can start making the rules. The question is, are you ready to see things for what they really are? In a magic trick, the magician's hand moves so fast that you don't notice the sleight of hand. They distract you with one hand while the other is already making the next move. Manipulators use the same tactics. They keep you focused on their words, their promises, their distractions, while their actions are working behind the scenes to take advantage of you. They're not concerned with what they're telling you, they're concerned with what they're getting away with. By the time you realize you've been misled, it's too late. The key is this: you can't just listen to what people say, you need to watch what they do. It's in their actions that the truth lies. Be aware, the magician's trick is real, but you don't have to fall for it. Words can be sweet, comforting, and convincing, but in the end they're just words. Promises, apologies, compliments, they're all meaningless unless backed up by real actions. It's easy to get caught up in what people say to you, but the truth is, actions speak louder. Actions reveal intentions. They expose whether someone is truly on your side or merely saying what they think you want to hear. The world is full of empty words, but the people who stand by their actions, they're the ones you should trust. If someone constantly says they care, but their actions don't match, it's time to step back and reassess. Stop listening to the noise. Pay attention to the patterns. Actions are the true language of integrity, loyalty, and trust. Watch them closely, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. Every betrayer leaves clues, subtle signals that, if you know where to look, will reveal their true nature. Maybe it's in how they shift blame, or how they change the subject when accountability is brought up. Perhaps it's in the way they seem too good to be true, or how their actions don't align with their words. These signs aren't always obvious at first, but once you recognize them, you can never unsee them. It's like peeling back the layers of a carefully constructed mask, and once you see through it, you'll begin to spot the patterns of manipulation and deceit before they catch you off guard. Don't ignore the warning signs, trust your instincts. They are there for a reason, and once you start noticing them, you'll have the power to protect yourself. Here's the truth: you don't have to be blindsided ever again. Once you've seen the game for what it is, you don't have to play by anyone else's rules. Recognizing the signs, the patterns, the manipulation, that's only the first step. The real power comes in the moment you decide to take back control. Exposing the truth isn't just about revealing the game, it's about reclaiming your power and shifting the balance. You don't need anyone's approval, validation, or permission to move forward. You are in charge of your own destiny. This is the turning point, the moment where you stop being a pawn and start being the master of your own fate. Recognize the truth and let that knowledge fuel your rise. It's time to take control. It's time to make the game work for you. The attack doesn't always come from the front. It doesn't come with a scream or an open betrayal. Sometimes it starts with a joke, a harmless remark, a tiny seed of doubt planted in your mind. It's so subtle you almost laugh it off at first. It's easy to dismiss because it seems so innocent. But over time, that little remark keeps creeping back into your thoughts. You begin to question things you never questioned before. Your confidence starts to chip away, piece by piece, and you don't even realize it. At first, it's just a joke, but soon that joke becomes a tool for erosion. You feel smaller, weaker, and less certain. Recognize it for what it is, manipulation in disguise. Your worth isn't up for debate, no matter how cleverly it's disguised. This is the moment when you must choose. Stay silent or confront the attack before it goes too far. Your confidence deserves to remain intact. Don't let them steal it away with their jokes. Wow, you're actually smart. That outfit is brave. These words may seem like compliments at first, but look closer. Can you feel the sting behind them? This is how manipulators operate. They disguise insults as praise, making you question your own judgment. At first it may feel like a compliment, but once you take a step back you realize that it's a calculated move to undermine you. It's never an accident. It's strategic, meant to plant seeds of doubt about your abilities, your appearance, or your worth. It's a game of control, and they are the masters of it. But here's the thing. You can't afford to second-guess yourself. You must see it for what it is. An attempt to keep you in a box, to make you feel smaller. Don't allow these backhanded compliments to redefine who you are. Stand tall and recognize your value. You are more than the subtle jabs they throw your way. One of the most dangerous games manipulators play is gaslighting. You've probably been there, feeling something deep in your gut, sensing that something's off. But when you speak up, they turn it all back on you. You're too sensitive. Can't you take a joke? They twist the narrative to make you doubt yourself. Suddenly you're questioning your own emotions, your perceptions, or reality. This is how they keep you under control. It's not about truth. It's about making you feel like you don't know what's real anymore. But here's the crucial truth. Your feelings are valid. Your instincts are there to protect you. Don't let anyone make you second-guess them. You know what you feel, and you don't need anyone to invalidate that. Stand firm in your truth, and refuse to let them make you question your worth. Think about the last time you spent time with someone. How did you feel afterward? Energized and inspired, or drained and empty? The people you surround yourself with play a huge role in shaping your energy. The right people will fuel you, make you feel seen, heard, and empowered. They will lift you up and encourage you to grow. The wrong people, however, will leave you feeling exhausted, deflated, and diminished. It's time to perform an energy test. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with people. Does your energy soar, or does it plummet? This isn't just a coincidence, it's a sign. The people you allow into your life should fuel your fire, not put it out. It's time to assess your circle and make the necessary changes. Your energy is precious. Guard it wisely. When people shrink you, belittle you, or make you doubt your worth, it's never about you. It's about their fear of your power. They can't stand to see you rise, so they try to keep you small. But here's the truth. You don't have to stay small for anyone. It's time to take back your voice, your space, and your confidence. You have the power to walk away from situations and people who don't value you. You don't owe them your time, your energy, or your self-respect. Walking away is not a sign of weakness, it's a declaration of strength. It's a message to the world that you will no longer accept anything less than what you deserve. Take back your power, because your confidence is yours to claim. There are people who know how to play with your emotions, and they do it so subtly you might not even realize it. One day they are warm and generous, showering you with affection, making you feel valued. but the next, they are cold and dismissive, leaving you wondering what went wrong. This isn't a random mood swing, this is a game of power, a calculated dance where they decide when you feel important. It's not about them caring for you, it's about control. They make you feel like you're on top of the world one moment, and then they pull the rug out from under you the next. It creates confusion, doubt, and emotional turmoil. But here's the truth. This behavior is not about you, it's about them manipulating your emotions for their own gain. You have to recognize this pattern. When kindness feels conditional, it's not kindness. It's a weapon, and it's time to stop playing their game. Imagine a casino. You walk in hoping to hit the jackpot. The machine gives you just enough wins, those small victories, to keep you coming back, to make you believe the next spin will bring you the big prize. This is what they do. They give affection in small doses, just enough to keep you hooked, even when they withhold it. One moment you're on top of the world, feeling loved and wanted. The next, you're left questioning your worth, wondering why they're distant. It's an unpredictable cycle that keeps you coming back, hoping that the next compliment, the next hug, will be the one that finally fills you up. But the reality is, they're controlling your emotional highs and lows, keeping you trapped in a never-ending loop. You have to break free from this cycle. You deserve more than crumbs. You deserve a love that's steady, consistent, and unconditional. Not the fleeting satisfaction of a slot machine that only leaves you wanting more. Have you ever encountered a boss, a friend, or even a family member who is only kind when they need something from you? Maybe they praise you when it serves their purpose, when they want something done, but the moment you stop serving their needs, the affection disappears. This is the reality of conditional approval. Their kindness is not real, it's transactional. They're not offering genuine care, they're offering a bargain. They want something in return, and they know how to manipulate you into giving it. The worst part? You start to believe that this is how relationships are supposed to work. You convince yourself that their praise is a sign of love or appreciation, when it's just a tactic to keep you in line. But you have to realize, true connection doesn't come with strings attached. If someone's kindness fades when you stop giving them what they want, it was never real to begin with. True kindness is not inconsistent. True love is not something that disappears when you set boundaries. It's not something that flickers in and out like a faulty light bulb. If someone's generosity vanishes the moment you say no or stand up for yourself, that should be a red flag. Real love doesn't disappear when you stop meeting someone else's demands. It stands firm, regardless of your decisions, because it's rooted in respect, not control. When someone truly cares for you, they will respect your boundaries, even when it's difficult. They will show you consistency, not based on what you can do for them, but because of who you are. If it's real, it's steady. And if you find yourself constantly questioning the authenticity of someone's affection, it's time to reassess the relationship. True love and respect don't come with conditions. They are constant, unwavering, and unshakable. It's time to stop chasing approval that's designed to control you. You've been seeking validation from people who only give it when it suits them, but you don't need their approval to feel worthy. You are enough, just as you are. You don't need anyone's permission to be confident, to stand tall, to assert your worth. The moment you stop seeking external validation is the moment you take back control of your life. You don't need them to tell you that you're valuable. You already know your worth. You don't need their praise to feel validated. Your confidence doesn't depend on anyone else's recognition. You are worthy of respect, whether they choose to give it or not. You are powerful on your own. Stand firm in your truth and watch as the chains of insecurity fall away. You don't need their validation. You only need your own. Have you ever received praise that left you more confused than empowered? Wow, you actually did great on this project. Did you hear that actually? It's a subtle but powerful dig. Or maybe, you're lucky, things just work out for you. So your success had nothing to do with your hard work or skill. These comments aren't praise, they're a veiled form of control. They twist your accomplishments into something undeserved, turning your confidence into doubt. It's not about celebrating you, it's about diminishing you. They want you to question your worth, to second-guess the value of your own efforts. But listen, real praise should make you feel strong, proud, and inspired. When someone uses these backhanded compliments, it's a signal. They don't want you to believe in your greatness. Your success isn't just a stroke of luck. You earned it, and it's time you start owning it. It's so sweet, you almost miss the sting. You're so lucky, I wish I had your opportunities, they say, masking envy with a smile. But here's the truth, it's not praise, it's a sugar-coated knife. Behind that compliment is a subtle message, one designed to keep you in check, to remind you that you're not as capable as you think you are. These words aren't lifting you up. They're controlling you, keeping you tethered to their approval. You don't need that kind of validation. Real support should empower you, not restrict your growth. They're not cheering you on, they're undermining you. And the deeper you internalize their manipulation, the more you'll question your ability to move forward without their input. Don't be fooled. Recognize the hidden agendas behind the compliments. They want to hold you back, but you can choose to break free. Why do people give backhanded compliments? It's not about celebrating you, it's about control. These subtle jabs are part of a pattern, a strategy to make you doubt yourself. When someone tells you, "You're lucky, things just seem to work out for you," they're planting seeds of uncertainty. If you don't fully believe in your success, you'll keep seeking their approval. And that's exactly what they want. They win when you second-guess your worth, when you start needing their validation to feel good about your achievements. But here's the hard truth. They don't control your success, you do. The more you rely on their empty compliments, the more power you give them over your self-esteem. Break the cycle. Your worth isn't up for negotiation. You are enough, with or without their approval. It's time for a test. Real praise versus subtle undermining. Real praise uplifts you. It makes you feel proud, encouraged, and ready to tackle your next challenge. It celebrates your accomplishments without conditions or caveats. On the other hand, subtle undermining leaves you feeling uncertain, defensive, or even diminished. Pay close attention to how praise makes you feel. Do they lift you up, or do they leave you questioning your worth? When someone truly celebrates you, they highlight your strengths. But when they downplay your success or add that uncomfortable twist, they're manipulating the narrative. Ask yourself, do their words make you feel empowered, or do they make you feel small? Trust your gut. If it feels like they're trying to bring you down, it's not a compliment. It's a tactic to keep you in their shadow. Stop accepting compliments that come wrapped in insults. Recognize the pattern for what it is. Manipulation disguised as praise. They don't control your worth, and you don't need their approval to feel good about yourself. Your success is real, no matter how they try to spin it. Reject their need to make you doubt your abilities. When you see these compliments for what they truly are, you regain control. You are enough, and you don't need validation wrapped in backhanded praise. You are stronger than their manipulation, and you are worthy, whether they acknowledge it or not. Have you ever encountered someone who is always stuck in the same story? No matter what happens, they're the victim. Every setback, every challenge, it's always someone else's fault. They'll twist every situation to avoid accountability, turning themselves into a martyr for the world to pity. But here's the truth. They're not just stuck. They're choosing to stay there. It's comfortable. It's easy. When you're a victim, you never have to face the uncomfortable truth of growth or responsibility. You can blame your problems on anyone and anything, and that's an endless cycle. So ask yourself, are you stuck in this loop? Are you hiding behind the mask of victimhood to avoid taking control of your life? This is the first step in breaking free. Recognize the trap you're in. The moment you stop playing the victim is the moment you start reclaiming your power. At first it feels like kindness. You see someone in need and you want to help. You give, you support, and you believe you're making a difference. But over time you realize that no matter how much you give, they never take responsibility. They never change. It's a trap. When you keep rescuing someone who refuses to save themselves, you're not helping, you're enabling. You start to realize that your help doesn't empower them. It keeps them dependent on you. This might be hard to accept, but it's crucial. You're not responsible for fixing other people. No matter how badly you want to help, you cannot carry someone else's weight indefinitely. The only way to truly help them is by teaching them to help themselves. So ask yourself, are you feeding into this cycle, or are you ready to empower both yourself and others by setting boundaries? Why does someone keep playing the victim over and over again? It's not just about seeking sympathy, it's about the rewards they get from it. Sympathy gives them power. As long as they remain the victim, they get attention, support, and a free pass. They don't have to face the consequences of their actions or decisions. Instead, they get to stay in their comfort zone, with others carrying the emotional load. But what's the cost? Your energy, your peace, your time. Every moment spent helping them is a moment you could be investing in your own growth. You're losing yourself in their story, while they continue to play the role of the helpless character. It's time to stop feeding into their narrative. When you break free from this cycle, you take back your power. You stop giving them control over your emotions and your life. Listen closely. You are not their savior. You cannot fix someone who refuses to fix themselves. It's time to face the hard truth. You cannot carry the weight of someone else's constant crisis. Their problems are theirs to own, not yours to solve. You've been trying to help, trying to rescue, trying to be everything they need, but in the end, that's not your role. Your role is to protect your own peace. You can offer support, but you cannot offer solutions to someone who doesn't want to change. Stop drowning in their chaos. Stop allowing their mess to consume you. You can care about them, but you have to set boundaries to protect your own mental, emotional, and physical well-being. This is your wake-up call. You're not the savior. They need to save themselves. And it's time for you to save yourself too. Recognizing the cycle is the first step in breaking free. Step out of the trap. Set boundaries that protect your energy. You can offer support without becoming entangled in their problems. Offer your help, but not your soul. Learn to say no without guilt. You can care about someone without being consumed by their chaos. This is the key. Protect your peace. You don't have to fix everyone. You don't have to carry every burden. When you set boundaries, you reclaim your energy and start living for yourself again. Your peace is precious. Don't give it away. It always begins with a simple request, doesn't it? A small favor, a minor inconvenience. Can you do me a quick favor? Just this once? It's not a big deal. And at first it doesn't seem like much. After all, what's one little thing in the grand scheme of things? But here's the catch. The small stuff adds up. It starts to build. You find yourself saying yes over and over again until you're doing things you swore you'd never do. One simple request turns into 2, then 3. You bend a little just to keep the peace. But soon enough you've bent so far that you've lost sight of your own boundaries, your own values, your own time. Manipulation, it rarely looks obvious at first. It's gradual, it's small, and that's the danger. The slow, subtle process that quietly robs you of your power. Are you letting small compromises erode your control? It's time to stop before it's too late. You deserve better than this. Ever heard of the boiling frog analogy? It's chilling, isn't it? If you drop a frog into boiling water, it will jump right out. But if you place that frog into lukewarm water and slowly heat it, it won't realize the danger until it's too late. It's the same with our lives. One small compromise today, another tomorrow. Soon enough, you find yourself deep in a situation you didn't see coming. You've been conditioned, piece by piece. Your boundaries have been eroded, and your sense of self has been blurred. That friend, that partner, that colleague who tests you just a little more each time, they don't do it all at once. They do it slowly, subtly, until you're trapped. The boiling frog effect is real, and you're the frog. The problem is, you don't even realize it until you're too far gone. Will you recognize the warning signs before it's too late? Love. It's supposed to be a beautiful, freeing thing, right? But what happens when love is used as a weapon? I just want to spend more time with you, they say. But soon it turns into, why do you even need them? Suddenly the people who claim to love you begin to isolate you from the world around you. It doesn't feel like control at first. It feels like care, protection. It feels like they know what's best for you. But the truth is, the more you bend, the more they push. Slowly your world gets smaller and smaller. You don't even realize you're being trapped in a cage of their making. They don't want your freedom, your independence. They want to control you. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep shrinking to fit their version of love? Or are you going to stand firm in your own sense of self? Let's be clear. Every small compromise you make costs you something. It costs you a piece of your time, your energy, your sense of self-worth. And before you know it, those small compromises have stacked up, and what you've given away can never be fully regained. You've traded your peace for someone else's comfort, your freedom for their control. But it was just one small thing, you tell yourself. One small thing here, one small thing there, but it adds up. The price of peace should never be your freedom, your values, or your self-respect. If they truly cared about you, they wouldn't ask you to shrink, to twist yourself to fit their needs. They wouldn't ask you to give up who you are just to make them happy. You're not a puppet. Stop letting someone else pull the strings. It's time to take control back. You don't have to explain your boundaries to anyone. You don't owe anyone justification for why you need to say no. Your boundaries are yours to set, and they deserve respect. Watch actions, not words. Manipulators will promise change, but they thrive on the cycle of control. Don't get caught in that trap. The strongest version of you is the one that stands firm in your own truth and refuses to be controlled. Stand up for yourself. Say no when you need to. Protect your peace like the treasure it is. You are in charge of your life, and no one has the right to take that power from you. Now is the time to stand tall and reclaim control. Your life, your choices. Only you can decide what stays and what goes. Have you ever found yourself thinking, "This is my decision. I'm choosing this," only to realize much later that it wasn't your idea at all? That's the illusion of control. Manipulation isn't about forcing someone to do something. It's about making them think that it was their own decision from the start. They don't demand. They don't shout. They make you feel like you're in control when, in fact, they are the ones pulling the strings. It's subtle. It's patient. It's disguised as care. And before you know it, you've spent so much time justifying and defending your choices that you no longer recognize who you've become. Think about it. How many times have you felt the need to explain yourself, to defend your thoughts, to prove that you matter? That's the danger. It's not just about making decisions. It's about knowing whose voice is guiding those decisions. Are they truly yours? Or have you been slowly conditioned to think that someone else's path is your own? You have to recognize this before it becomes a part of you. If you feel like you're constantly justifying yourself, it's time to ask, who's truly in control? Gaslighting is not just lying, it's about making you doubt your own reality. "I never said that. You're overreacting. That never happened." These words aren't just dismissing your feelings, they are undermining your perception of what is real. It's subtle, often camouflaged as concern, but it's powerful. It doesn't take much for someone to make you feel confused, to make you second-guess yourself. But when you're being manipulated like this, it's like standing in the middle of a fog that you can't see through, questioning everything around you. Here's the truth. If you feel like you're constantly being gaslit, like you're questioning your own memories, you're not wrong. Trust yourself, your experiences, your emotions. They are valid. No one has the right to rewrite your reality, especially not through confusion and manipulation. If something feels off, if someone's words are making you feel unsure of what you know to be true, it's time to step back and regain your clarity. Don't let anyone take that from you. After everything I've done for you, you owe me this. If you really loved me, you would. Guilt tripping is a powerful manipulation tactic. It twists love into something it was never meant to be. An obligation, a debt to be repaid. Love is supposed to be freeing, not controlling. True love doesn't demand, it gives. But when someone uses guilt to pull at your heartstrings, to make you feel responsible for their happiness, that's no longer love. That's manipulation. Think about how this has shown up in your life. How many times has someone used your feelings for them to get what they wanted? This isn't love. This is emotional blackmail. It's time to recognize the difference. If you feel like you're being coerced into something because you owe someone, it's not real love. It's a trap. Don't let someone's manipulative demands redefine your boundaries. Love isn't a transaction, it's a choice. A free and beautiful act of mutual respect. Silence isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it's used as a weapon. The silent treatment, the withdrawal of love, attention, or communication, is a tactic of control, not boundaries. When someone intentionally withholds affection or communication to punish you or force you to behave a certain way, they are manipulating you. Healthy relationships don't punish. They communicate, they discuss, they grow together. Toxic ones make you beg for clarity, for understanding, for a hint of connection. If you find yourself constantly on edge, wondering where you stand with someone, walking on eggshells just to keep the peace, recognize this for what it is. Silence isn't peace, it's control, and it's time to stop accepting it. Your value is not dependent on someone else's mood or their silence. Your worth is innate. Stop begging for love, stop pleading for communication, demand clarity, and demand respect. Here's the bottom line, your choices are yours. Stop letting anyone rewrite your reality, your path, your future. Trust yourself. You have the power to make decisions, to stand firm, to say no without explanation. Your worth is not determined by someone else's manipulation. Your truth is yours to define. Stop letting others dictate what you believe, what you feel, or what you want. Remember, when someone respects you, they don't need tricks or control to keep you close. You are enough. Don't allow anyone to make you question your worth, your desires, or your autonomy. It's time to take back your power, to trust in your own choices, and to step into the reality that you deserve. They apologize without ever actually saying sorry. A true apology isn't just a word, it's a statement of accountability. But how often have you heard someone say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," or "I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't"? These aren't apologies. They're manipulations designed to shift the blame onto you. When someone truly cares about repairing the relationship, they don't excuse their behavior, they own it. They don't make you feel like the victim of your own emotions. They acknowledge they're wrong, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. This is where the real power lies. It's not in accepting hollow words, but in recognizing the difference between genuine remorse and a hollow facade. Ask yourself, do you accept these kinds of non-apologies? Do you let someone off the hook without them ever truly taking responsibility? Stop letting people redefine your reality. You deserve more than just empty words. You deserve truth, accountability, and respect. Some people never take responsibility. It's always their childhood, their stress, or you who made them act that way. Excuses are the escape hatch for those who fear the discomfort of personal responsibility. It's easier to point fingers at the past, at other people, or at life's unfair circumstances. But what does that leave you with? A lifetime of deflection and avoidance. People who never own up to their actions are choosing to remain stuck. They are allowing their past to control them, rather than growing from it. They craft stories that absolve them of guilt, and in doing so, they trap themselves in a cycle of inaction. Think about it. Every time you hear an excuse, you're being given a clue. They're telling you they're unwilling to change. This doesn't just affect them, it affects you. You can't grow if the people around you refuse to. Let go of those who refuse to own their mistakes. Their excuses will keep them in the same place while you rise beyond your struggles. You have the power to choose. Don't settle for people who are too scared to take responsibility for their actions. Famous public figures and celebrities often avoid blame when caught in scandals. They reframe the narrative. I was misunderstood, the media twisted my words, or I was under pressure. Public figures are masters of manipulation. When caught in the wrong, they spin their story so artfully that you almost believe they were victims themselves. It's a common tactic, shifting the blame, denying their role, or reframing the situation until they appear faultless. But you need to understand this, the same techniques can be used by anyone in your life. If someone always positions themselves as the victim, distancing themselves from their mistakes, it's not an accident, it's a strategy. Don't let others pull the wool over your eyes. You can see through the mask. And once you do, you'll realize that accountability isn't about how they spin the story, it's about whether they are willing to look in the mirror and face the truth. That's what separates growth from stagnation. Constantly defending yourself is exhausting. Day after day, you're left questioning your own reality. Am I the problem, you wonder, even when deep down you know you're not? But the constant back and forth, the shifting blame, it wears you down. It makes you doubt yourself, your decisions, your worth. It's emotionally draining to constantly defend your actions, especially when you know the truth. It's like being stuck in a loop where the other person is never held accountable and you're the one always on trial. Let me tell you something. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to keep fighting an endless battle where the rules keep changing. You're not the problem. You never were. Don't let someone else rewrite your reality. Reclaim your peace, reclaim your power. If someone can't own their mistakes, they don't deserve your trust. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. But trust isn't given freely, it's earned. And one of the most important ways it's earned is through accountability. When someone refuses to own their mistakes, they're showing you that they aren't committed to growing or learning. Every time someone deflects blame, they're telling you that your feelings don't matter as much as their ego. They're choosing to stay the same. And you deserve better than that. You deserve people who take responsibility, who are willing to look at themselves and make the necessary changes. Pay attention to the patterns. If someone never takes ownership of their actions, they're not the person you want in your life. It's time to walk away. Because your peace, your trust, and your emotional well-being are too valuable to give away to someone who refuses to be accountable. If you ignore the first 7 signs, this is where you end up, blindsided. There's a moment in life when betrayal hits like a thunderstorm. It's quiet at first. You didn't see it coming because it didn't make noise. It built over time. Small shifts in behavior, offhand remarks, the flicker of hesitation you didn't want to admit to yourself. And then, one day, it happens. The mask falls. The person you thought you knew, the one you trusted, reveals their true color, and you are left there, reeling from the gut punch. It's shocking because you didn't expect it. You couldn't have, but this is the lesson. Sometimes betrayal doesn't scream, it whispers. It creeps in when you least expect it, and when it hits, it makes you question everything. But here's the truth. It's not a reflection of your worth or your choices. It's a reflection of them and what they were always hiding. You thought they were on your side. They were just waiting for their moment. They were never truly your ally. It wasn't carelessness. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was strategic, planned, and calculated. Business partners who steal your ideas, friends who spread rumors behind your back, lovers who vanish when you need them most. You thought you were building something together, that your trust and loyalty would be returned, but they were never with you in the way you imagined. They were only waiting for the right time to strike, and when that moment arrived, they took it without hesitation, without remorse. But this truth? It's not a reflection of you, it's their failure, not yours. Betrayal rewires your brain. Suddenly trust feels like a dangerous game, a gamble where you're more likely to lose than win. Every word, every gesture starts to feel like a trap. You replay every conversation, every moment. Where did it go wrong? How did you miss the signs? You wonder if you were naive, too trusting, too open. But listen, there is no shame in trusting. The problem wasn't your trust. The problem was them. They betrayed it, and that's on them. Trust isn't the problem. The people you trusted are. You were right to give your trust. What they did with it is a different story. Their betrayal is not your failure. It's their truth finally showing. Here's the turning point. You are not a failure because someone else's actions hurt you. Their betrayal doesn't make you weak or naive. It makes them who they truly are. Their mask has finally slipped, revealing their true character. The pain they caused isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a revelation of their deceit. Don't carry the weight of their dishonesty as if it belongs to you. Their betrayal doesn't define you, it defines them. And the most powerful thing you can do now is let them go, because that opens the door to who you're truly meant to be. Betrayal doesn't mean you stop trusting. It means you start trusting wisely. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't make excuses. Don't rationalize their actions. Trust your instincts because they never lie. The pain they caused? It's not a life sentence. It's a lesson that you're meant to learn. And when someone new enters your life, you'll know the signs. You'll trust them with your eyes wide open. And that wisdom, that clarity will empower you to protect your peace and never let someone who's not meant for your journey back in. How many times have you ignored your gut feeling? You've been there, feeling that whisper deep inside. It's subtle, but it's there, telling you something isn't right. That uneasy feeling you couldn't quite shake, the sense that something was off. But you ignored it. You second-guessed yourself. You gave them another chance. You silenced that inner voice that was trying to protect you. Why? Maybe because you didn't want to believe it. Maybe you convinced yourself you were overthinking. But here's the truth. Every betrayal, every setback, every moment that left you hurt, it wasn't a surprise. It was a warning you chose to overlook. Your instincts were speaking to you, but you chose to ignore them. And in those moments, you learned the hard way that ignoring your gut always comes at a cost. It's time to stop doubting yourself. Trust your gut. It's there for a reason. Your instincts are your survival guide. Trust them. Think about it. Animals can sense danger before it appears. They pick up on shifts in their environment long before anything happens. It's an innate survival mechanism. And you have that same power. Your intuition is the voice of your survival guide, picking up on things before your mind fully processes them. It's not that you don't know, you do. The problem isn't your ability to recognize danger or discomfort. The problem is you don't always listen. You doubt yourself, you second guess. But your instincts are there to keep you safe, to guide you through life's challenges. They're part of who you are. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you'll stop overlooking your gut feelings and start protecting yourself with the wisdom that's always been there. Pay attention, set boundaries, walk away. These 3 rules will change the game. First, pay attention. Stop brushing off the signs, the little things that don't feel right. Trust your perception. Next, set boundaries. You are the guardian of your own energy. Don't let people take from you without a thought. Don't let their needs or demands drain you. Finally, walk away. Too often we stay in situations that no longer serve us, hoping things will change. But sometimes, walking away is the strongest move you can make. When something feels wrong, it is wrong. Stop explaining it away. Trust yourself enough to walk away. Protecting your peace and energy is your responsibility. You don't need proof to walk away. You just need the courage to trust yourself. Here's the test, the ultimate one. Are you strong enough to walk away, even without solid proof? Most people won't. They wait for undeniable evidence, for something they can hold in their hands to make it real. But the truth is, if you're waiting for proof, you're already too deep. Trust isn't just about believing in others. It's about believing in yourself. Trusting your intuition, your instincts, your ability to recognize what doesn't serve you. The courage to walk away without proof is the true test of strength. It's the ability to listen to yourself and act on it without needing to justify your decision. The proof is in the way you feel. Trust that.